Hey everybody, so today I wanted to work some harder stone and see if we can make a point out of it. Make sure I got all my doings together. This is a piece of Dothan Coastal. Heat treated up to about 450 degrees. And yes, this is my first video. I've been flint knapping for about 2 years and just really got into it, really love it, really enjoy doing it. And hopefully you guys can learn something from me. If you've been flint knapping for a while, maybe you won't, but maybe it'll be enjoyable just to watch and maybe learn a few things along the way, who knows. And try to go for a Hamilton point today. It's a point from the Gulf Coastal region. And from what it looks like, I've got plenty of mass here to be able to make that. This is a really tough piece. Should be able to make something out of it, so we shall see. Didn't want that one to travel too far. Just cleaning up the edge a little bit. This side's relatively flat. Got a little bit of a hump there, but that shouldn't be a problem at all. So I'm just going to raise this edge up a little bit, be able to take this hump out, may do it from this side actually, and be able to get that hump off. So there's some convexity right here. So what I'm going to do is kind of chip away this edge. And that way it's left with no convexity. So there's less convexity, and that way I can drive a flake all the way across. I'm gonna work my edge a little bit more. We should be good to drive a flake. Yes, I'm losing width here, but always good to have a good platform. So there's the platform. And took it off, took a secondary flake along the side, which isn't really what I wanted to do, but that's okay. Still got another ridge I can run there and braid that ridge. Sometimes that helps with that fracture along the way. And it ran the ridge pretty well, surprisingly. So from what it looks like right here, there's still some cortex, a little bit of convexity, so I'm gonna hit this side to get that convexity out, then hit back on this side, raise the edge, and blow that off. Let's see if we can accomplish that. So that looks kind of bad, and we can, pull some flakes off of this side. I may do some short flakes because there's a little bit of convexity there too. So we're gonna braid. Not gonna run long flakes, just short flakes. Short flakes. And I'm gonna raise that edge. Just a little bit more. That one could have gone a little bit longer, or that one did go a little bit longer, because there was no convexity there, remember? Yes, I'm getting rid of width, but most people have different ways of kind of battling this. My way, not saying it's the perfect way. I've been doing it for about 2 years, but if I can get it from the sides or from the corners, that's best. But if I can't, I'll just go ahead and attack it right on. And anyways, not the best way. There are better ways. This is the way I chose to do it on this one. Big hump. It's about to be gone. Make sure I braid it one more time. If you're ever unsure, go ahead and braid. Make sure that that platform's steady and secure. So I can drive down. That'll work. I am going to drive down actually. I'm going to drive down and in. I was able to take a flake. Looks like there's looks like it may have ran a secondary flake along the side. And it did. Let's see how that turns out. Not too bad, got it kind of thin. There's still a thick part in the middle. One thing you need to make sure before I hit that one in the middle is make sure my... Okay. Looks like there was a crack in there, but we'll work around it. No big deal. No big deal. Still planning on making a Hamilton style point. Still got plenty of beef there to be able to accomplish that. Move down a bumper. Attack that one from the base, and that's okay. Just make sure that you have a really solid platform. Those basal strikes really send a shock all the way through the piece. This is some really low grade stuff from Alabama, but still flaking nicely, which is good. It is heat treated. Now we're gonna remove that hump right there and get that hump out of the way and drive down and in. Make sure you can see that in the sun. There's your removal flake. Clean that up a little bit. Got another ridge we can run. My high grit abrader, I don't have one at the moment, so I'm using a low grit, and it also broke in half. So just doing with what I can. May clean that up a tad bit more. Like I said, if you're ever unsure, always good to braid some more. And make sure you can see your point inside of this. So I'm working I have my little 2019 booklet here, and this is the style that I'm working with here. And as you can see, I can still fit that point inside the rock that I'm working with. So as of now, we're good. You know, gonna clean this up a little bit, get rid of some of this thick portion here, and we'll be good to go. Okay. Still got a good platform. Let's see what we can do. Drove more in on that one. That removed a nice flake. Gonna clean up here. Didn't want to drive that in too much, but doing pretty solid. Okay. Like I said, I haven't even made a point out of this material yet. It's something I collected about 2 months ago or so. Ended up heating it up to 450, which personally I believe was not enough. But it's all I had in my turkey roaster, so I'm hoping to get a kiln when I can. It stepped out right there, but that's okay. We'll clean it up on the opposite side. So what I'm seeing right here is I just raised this edge so I can blow a flake here and meet this matching flake over here, and then kind of feather some stuff out in here. So I'm raising that edge, trying not to get rid of too much width. Send a flake there. Now I'm gonna braid down and across. Make sure all of that is solidified. Don't want any cracks or inclusions. Want to make sure it's a perfect little little platform for what we got going on. So I'm gonna attack here. Just gonna drive a flake off, preferably into here. Hopefully get a lot of this mass off. If we can't, that's okay. There's an inclusion here that worries me. But if I strike to the side, maybe it'll be okay. Braid it one more time. Okay, let's try it. All right, there's our removal flake. Gonna clean it up a little bit. Try to get some of this portion off here. See if we can run a flake up into there. May try to raise this up and blow a flake along this side, who knows. Actually, I may do that. That may be the best bet. Let me go ahead and clean this portion up here before I forget. See that platform wasn't set, but I tried to hit above it, see if it can go across, and it didn't, and that's okay. We'll get to it later. See how much time we got? 12 minutes. Okay, still going good. I may make this a 20-minute video, and if I don't finish in 20 minutes, I may, which is very likely, then may make it into a second part. This is a very thin portion, so I'm hitting down and just barely catching the edge, not going in as much as I am just straight down. Get a little platform there. Make sure my ends aren't very thin, so before I make that hit, may get my indirect. Use my indirect for this. Oh, there it is. All right. Blew off a little bit more than I wanted, but honestly, it's okay. It's okay. Not too bad. When the rock presents an angle to you, use it. Use it. Still thick on the base, so let me come from the side. Start working in a little bit of a zigzag pattern. Okay, let me move over here to this side. I can't do much here, so I'm going to start here, drive a flake, not too far, maybe halfway, and see if I can't run that ridge there. Okay, ran that ridge, didn't get all the way across, that's okay. Probably because I didn't support enough, but that's fine. Still got that point inside of there, and that's what's important. Don't ever lose sight of that. Alright, so I'm raising this edge to be able to drive off some of that thicker portion there, closer to the base. Slowly raising that edge until you got a good edge. So you got one that's below the center line. I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so if you're looking at it like this, the center line is a little bit higher than where this platform is here. So we're going to strike here and just beside that ridge, and we're gonna blow off the flake. Braid one more time. And I'm pinching right here, right where the tip of that is, where it meets the edge, just pinching. Not too hard, but definitely pinching. There's a little crack in there, we'll see how that does. Okay, and I pinched it, and because of that, it ran. Beautiful flake. Separation flakes. And sometimes you see me, you know, if I'm planning on hitting on this side and driving a flake off, most of the time you braid on this side, you know, and that's something that you would do. But if there's a little bit of convexity, or if the platform is too low below the center line, what I'll do is I'll braid the opposite way. I'll just straight up braid the opposite way, and that way it'll bring it closer to the center line. That way there's not as much convexity. All right, so we're working slowly this kind of not so good piece of Alabama coastal. Haven't even seen a piece like this before out of all the rocks that I found, but it's interesting. So now I've got this flattened out a little bit more. I want to do a little bit more before I make that hit in the middle. So this hit right here, before I make that hit and drive hopefully three-fourths of the way across the piece, I want to make sure I get this down. So I'm not driving this basal flake into the piece. As you can see, I'm tilting. If I can get it to drive. Sometimes it just won't work for you. Maybe because I was hitting in the wrong spot. I know this is out of the sun for you, so I'm sorry about that. Get this base thinned down a little bit. Remember, if you're on the base, I try to jam that into my hand and braid one more time. Try to blow off a little bit back here, see what we can do. This one I'm doing more in. Kind of feathered out a little bit. Not perfect, but I'll take it and clean that rest up there. So you can see here, natural platform. This is the cortex of the rock. And easy to drive some flakes off there. Clean this back portion up. And we'll go for some of those longer flakes. All right. Let's go ahead and hit this here. Not along this side. We'll hit this ridge once we hit on this side. So to make that make sense, we'll hit here, and when we do that, we'll raise the edge, and then we'll come back and blow some off this side. So let's do that now. Hit more in on that one, which is what you want. If I can hit it. Come on now. There we go. All right. Now I don't want to hit here. Looks like there's a little bit of convexity. Actually, that might work. I'm going to try to hit from here. I lowered that edge. As you can see, time we at 19 minutes. May go ahead and cut this off and finish the point in the next video.